I'm going to waste no time with this video. I'm just going to get right into the meat and potatoes of the discussion. It's going to be revolving around Shawn and Kenny and where I think the potential of this brotherhood could go leading into Season 5 and what we know about it thus far. And there's reasons why I think these two characters will be integral next season. Obviously, a key component is Robbie, Miguel, and Johnny presumably at the start of Season 5, they are out of the valley. Out of the valley. And Kenny is in a headspace at this current moment where I think he is vulnerable, extremely vulnerable, to Silver's manipulation. As I said in a recent video, I would have preferred the Quicksilver method be taught to Robbie because, you know, you can extract that anger that he has for Johnny and you can really use it and unleash it. But at the same time, teaching the Quicksilver method to Kenny might be more bone-chilling, if you know what I mean. And where things are going to go for Shawn and Kenny going forward is Season 5 is presumably just going to be set in the summer. And Shawn, as we know, is getting out in the summer. Now, is it possible that he could join Cobra Kai? Yeah, it's possible. But at the same time, I want to sort of put this out there. I don't think Shawn's going to like that Kenny has changed. I don't think he's going to like this one bit. And the reason I say that is you would think Shawn is this stereotypical, you know, thug dude who's in juvie to make everyone's life a living hell and he's a failure at everything else and, you know, he's got nothing else going for him. Until this season, when Kenny delivers the nuance of why Shawn is in juvie in the first place, and it's not for the reasons that we all thought. It's just a simple reason of Shawn's friends were stealing from him and Kenny's mum. Kenny saw them do it, and then, you know, Shawn had to step in and protect his little brother. You know, that doesn't signal a thug. That signals someone who cares, someone who has a heart. So even if Shawn is to get out and join Cobra Kai, I don't think it's going to be a long-term thing, because Shawn is not going to like what Kenny has become. And the reason I say this is Shawn strikes me as the kind of brother where he's not only protective of Kenny, but he can see the potential of Kenny. And while Shawn may have sort of gone wayward and got in with the wrong crowd, Kenny has never done that up until this point. And that's where Robbie comes into question. Is Shawn vouched for Robbie and said, hey, I know a guy who can look after you or who can teach you? And then that feeds into Robbie's arc about feeling guilty about what Kenny has become. But at this moment, Kenny, you know, Robbie's out of the valley. So Robbie won't have any ground to stand on to argue his case. That's why I think Kenny is going to fall absolute victim to Silver's manipulation and games. And Silver could just as easily put, you know, this idea out there to Shawn and Kenny that Robbie is responsible for this. And that could work in the short term. But Shawn and Robbie are very similar. I think Shawn will see right through what Silver's done. And he won't like the fact that his little brother has turned into this anger, rage-filled machine. He's not going to like that. You know, I think, just to put a real-world example on it, if, you know, you have a younger sibling, or you have someone who's like a younger sibling figure to you, or someone that's younger than you that you look out for, you want the best for them. You want them to grow, you want them to expand, you want them to be better. And I think Shawn, seeing what happened to Kenny, you know, that sweet kid, he's not going to like it. He's not going to like it one little bit. So at first, there is room there for him to join Cobra Kai, get trained by Silver, and then that there is where Robbie and him duke it out again, and Shawn's like, what the hell did you do to my little brother? But eventually, Shawn will put two and two together that it's not Robbie's fault, and he'll see through what Silver's going, you know, what Silver's doing. And as I've said before, think back to Season 2, when Daniel strolls into the dojo, and he usurps the students, and then Chris leaves, and a couple of others leave, and they go join Miyagi-Do. I think a scene is going to happen where Chris walks into that dojo, and Tori's going to go with him, Kyler's going to go where Tori goes, and Chris will only want Kenny because Robbie cares about Kenny, and Kenny cares about Robbie. But I think Kenny will stay put. Kenny will decide to stay with Silver, and that will be part of Robbie's arc, is to not only get him out of there, but get him out of there before he does any, you know, damage, like Robbie has done, or like Hawk has done. And I think if Shawn comes into the mix, Shawn could very well be the one to get Kenny out of there. I don't think it's going to be as simple as, okay, Shawn will join Cobra Kai and that's the end of it. As much as Shawn is a perfect fit for Cobra Kai, the way the show is going and the level of grade that they've given Shawn and Kenny, I don't see a world where these two stay in Cobra Kai forever. And I know we need villains in the show, but this is why, as I've always said in my recent live streams, here's what you do. You bring all the kids that we care about onto the same page, right? So this is the army that you have, okay? Think of the season 3 finale ending, where you have Daniel and Johnny together merging their dojos, and then Miguel, Hawk, and the others walk in. How about this? And I've said this before. You have Eli, Tori, Sam, Dimitri, right? That's your current dojo. Then you have Miguel walking in, followed by Robbie, followed by Shawn, followed by Kenny, and even Kyler you could throw in there, because Kyler will go where Tori goes. And then maybe put Devin there. I mean, come on. You know, she'll go where Johnny goes. That there is your army. That's your elite Avengers team of the kids. Then what you do is Silver introduces a whole host of Mike Barnes-esque villainous characters, irredeemable kids that are merciless, that are spiteful. Think of all the potential of dark, evil Robbie, the potential of season 2 finale and season 3 Tori. Think of season 2 dark Miguel. Think of, you know, Bloodlust Sam. All these kind of potential what-if scenarios for these characters. Just think of characters that come in that have no grey centre to oppose our heroes. That's what I can totally see happening. I don't feel like Shawn and Kenny will stay against that, because we care about them and the characters care about them. And Shawn, Kenny, and Robbie, this upcoming season, are all intrinsically linked together. These 3 characters are so tied together, and I'm excited to see where it's going to go. So jump in the comment section down below and let me know what you think of where this is going to go. But just speaking about it from that perspective, I don't think Shawn's going to like the fact that Kenny's completely changed. He's not going to like it at all. So whether he joins Cobra Kai and stays, that's one thing. Do I think he'll join? Yeah, he might join for a bit, just, you know, because it would be cool to see him in Cobra Kai. But I don't see him staying forever. Not after what Kenny's become. And it could even be a scenario where the roles flip. And sort of like how Robbie was going up against Johnny in the season 3 finale, were trying to go up against him. Kenny might start attacking Robbie. Silver might fill his head with all this evil stuff. That's what Silver will do. You know, Silver's in a headspace now where nothing is off the table. There is no end to what Silver will try to do to drive a wedge between people. And if you think back to Karate Kid 3, when Daniel starts flipping out at Miyagi, you could have several situations like that, where maybe it's Miguel and Johnny in Mexico, where they are, you know, Miguel flips out at him. Maybe Kenny flips out at Robbie, or Shawn flips out at Robbie. There's so much potential here. And I love these 2 characters and the level and layers that they... The levels and layers that they add to the show and the story. They just add so many different routes for the story to go down. And it's just that classic case of history repeating itself again. You know, Kenny is like Eli, Dimitri, Miguel, you know, Robbie. It's just a thing of where it's an innocent kid, you know, where someone's innocence is taken away from them and they become this cold, callous machine because they're forced into a situation where they feel like they have no choice. It's heartbreaking. But that's all this video was, is I wanted to talk a little bit about that, the potential of where these 2 could go. Let me know down in the comment section below if you want me to do more detailed and in-depth videos on these 2 characters in particular and this relationship of this brotherly bond. Because one thing that I loved about episode 2's ending of season 4, when he goes to see Shawn in juvie and he's like, one of them even knows karate. Like, Shawn he's just like, shit, karate, huh? Like, he's loving it. He's like, oh, yeah, don't worry, I know a guy. And also, Robbie and Shawn formed a respect in juvie that transcends Terry Silver. Like, that respect that was formed between Shawn and Robbie, that cannot be broken. That is a respect that is formed by people literally going to town on the other person. Like, it's happened so many times, not just in sports or in movies or whatever, but even in the real world this kind of stuff happens, where, you know, real recognizes real. And I really don't think Shawn's going to like the fact that Kenny's changed. He's not going to like this at all. And especially because we haven't really seen Kenny and Shawn's mother and what her approach to this situation is. No, I don't think she's Julie Pierce. We haven't really seen what her approach to the situation is, well, how she feels. It would be nice to see a bit more about these adults and what they feel about what their kids are getting into, like, you know, Hawk's parents or Dimitri's parents. It would just be a really cool thing to see. But guys and girls, jump in the comment section down below. Let me know what you thought of any of the points I raised here. And do you agree with me? Do you think that Shawn's going to like this, seeing what his brother's become? And do you think he's going to hold Robbie responsible? But you also have to remember, where Kenny's telling him the story of him getting attacked in the toilets, this was before Kenny met Robbie. He was talking about Hawk. Now, if you played the Cobra Kai game, like I have, a few times, in that game, Shawn and Hawk actually fight each other. So you never know. Maybe for a little while, Shawn and Hawk could be duking it out in the summertime until Robbie and Miguel get back. And then when Robbie comes back, then he can tell Shawn everything that happened. And how guilty he feels and how at fault he feels. There's a lot of potential there. I love it. Season 4 has laid so much foundation for where this story can go. Guys and girls, I'll see you on another video soon. And we march forward to 7K, and all I can do is just say thank you all so much. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and by the time this video uploads, there is the Suicide Squad watch party this weekend. Be there, be square, and I'll see you on another video soon. That's my table, homie.